you seen this man?
I never say this, but don't swallow.
Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumbray here again from JoBlo.com with a video review of Deadpool. Fans that are still fuming over the way Wade Wilson was treated in X-Men Origins Wolverine will be thrilled to know that 20th Century Fox has more than made amends for the fact that the initial iteration of the character left this merc without a mouth. A labor of love both by and for Deadpool fans, it's highly unlikely hardcore fans of the Rob Liefeld comic character won't walk away satisfied, even if some of the harder edges and pathos of the character are shaved off to give this a more upbeat vibe. In fact, the tone is so broadly comic this almost feels like the Hot Shots Part 2 of superhero movies, with jokes and one-liners galore. Which brings me to the question, how will non-fans feel about Deadpool? If you haven't heard of the character, you'll likely wonder how 13-year-olds ever managed to get a screenplay produced, as the comedy here is distinctly of the Mad Magazine level, only ramped up to a hardcore R. Only a few of the jokes are really clever to a non-Deadpool audience, with the most cutting being references Reynolds makes to other Marvel movies and the relative cheapness of their production, with even the credits making fun of the lack of big names in the cast. All this adds up to a movie that's defiantly fan service, no more, no less. This is not a Kingsman or a Kick-Ass. Audiences unfamiliar with the character likely won't embrace the film unless they happen to be teenage boys, for whom I imagine this is catnip. At any rate, it's hard to argue that Ryan Reynolds is not well cast, with Deadpool essentially being, here anyways, a superhero Van Wilder. Reynolds looks very comfortable, but the issue is that very few of Deadpool's lines are clever. One way this could have worked was if the rest of the cast had played it straight, with Deadpool being presented as unhinged, but that's not what happens. The Colossus character is especially clownish, as is his sidekick Negasonic Teenage Warhead. There's very little difference between Wade pre- and post-transformation, making it seem as though his personality hasn't changed at all, heightening the way this is basically a superhero spoof. In that regard, it's hard to complain about the scant action scenes, of which there are really only 2, as the jokes seem to be the point here, rather than action. That said, Deadpool is rarely exciting or creative in the carnage in the way the similarly budgeted John Wick was. However, Deadpool wins some points by almost being a postmodern takedown of superhero films, with constant knowing winks to how cheesy scenes are by having power pop anthems by Chicago and Wham fill the soundtrack. You also have to give props to a movie where one of the only big action scenes is scored to Angel of the Morning by Juice Newton. Too bad better villains couldn't have been chosen, with Ed Skrein Ajax feeling like a disposable henchman and not an all-out baddie. I kept waiting for the major bad guy to reveal himself. If Deadpool comes back, the action department really needs an overhaul, as some visceral thrills are missed. As the love interest, Morena Baccarin is an appealing fantasy figure and plays off Reynolds well, so the movie has that going for it. In the end, Deadpool is tough to classify. If you're a fan of the character, you'll love it. I really have no doubt about that. This is for you. If you don't care about the character, you should just stay away. If you don't follow the comics, go in expecting a significantly different superhero experience that you're used to, and you just might well have fun, even if the lines seem pinched from a junior high school joke book. Again, though, this is Deadpool's world and we're only visiting it. As a pure piece of fan service, Deadpool does exactly what it set out to do, although non-fans probably won't get it at all. In the end, I'm going to average out the score here a bit, as it's probably about a 9 on 10 for fans, and about a 5 for non-fans. Thus, for the casual filmgoer, this gets about a 7 on 10. Once again, for JoBlo.com, I'm Chris Bumbray.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Gon' give it to ya, he gon' give it to ya.